Hey guys, this time at the quick speed shop, we're down in the pole barn. I'm down here with vehicles and stuff. I'm building a wall of speed right there behind you. Sneak peek. I got tired of all my stuff being everywhere. Intake manifolds, exhaust manifolds, headers, valve covers. It was just, I had them scattered all over Hell's Half Acre, living room, wherever they were. So I'm building a wall of speed. We're going to start hanging stuff up there. And I'm going to clean up the garage up top. We'll do some more looking around there. I got a special visitor coming later with a hot rod. Jack Mulligan's bringing his tea bucket over. We'll take a look at that. It's pretty cool. And then, I don't know, we'll talk about whatever else I'm going to talk about in the video, like the 40 Mercury and walls of speed, intake manifolds, lots of headers. I don't know. We're going to be playing pickup today at the Quick Speed Shop. All right, guys, we're back at it here, back from Hershey, and we're ready to go work on a C10 once again. I'm preparing to do the body work on and paint the doors and fenders, but I'm taking the opportunity to do some cleaning out here because, as you can see, it's a disaster. I want to get all the stuff out of here that doesn't need to be in here for painting, like this generator, and there's a small block Chevy, and my 440 for my Daytona is here. The crate engine that's going in the Buick's got to stay, but I'm slowly moving stuff away because I determined I have a new storage facility right on site. Let's go look. This is not my new car. I'm just spraying fluid film on it. That thing is some kind of yellow. But now that I'm back from Hershey, I got my box trailer here all winter. What's it going to do? Oh, look, it's going to be a C10 storage box. I'm going to put all the sheet metal that I'm working on, or haven't worked on yet, in here. And then it's all in one spot, and it'll be easy to get. So I've just strapped the hood in here. Got the core support, got the bed parts. I'm about ready to drive it around back and clean out the pole barn where all the fenders and stuff and inner fenders and all the loose stuff is spread out over Hell's Half Acre in the pole barn. So in the pole barn, I got parts like all the step side fenders and the bed sides, which I'm not going to work on till later. All this stuff can go in the trailer and get out of the way. And I see it's been lining the things here. Oh, here's my rails I had Cornfield Customs make for my Plymouth. They're staying rust-free. I got them working, but things like, I'll probably put this Charger deck lid in there and just get some things out of the way. And you see I got the other step side fender there. I got the inner fenders there. Everything's everywhere. So it's nice to have on-site storage with that box trailer. I'll be able to put stuff in there. But speaking of stuff, I got tired of tripping over things, so I started hanging them up. That's what you hang the stuff up. So I started my wall of speed over here. I've got some valve covers over there, and I've got all my extra intake manifolds here that are aluminum anyways, because they can hang on the wall. I got a couple of flatheads, and I got two 460 Ford intakes, and I got all smearing a small block Chevy intakes hanging on the wall. And there's the truck doors over there. They've got to come up in the shop. But this was a jumbled pile of nonsense. Now I can get to the louver press. This machine is the one that's going to press the louvers in the hood and the tailgate. And actually, if I climb up on this ladder, I'll take you up here. Up here on the sign, Country Classics, that was my uncle's used car business. But this sign is from the early 80s or mid 80s. I've got a picture of me holding it in like 1985. And that's all the louvers that I think we can punch with this machine. I got the dies. The rectangular ones in the center, they go in the tailgate of the truck. That's what my dad had. And then there's 3-inch, 4-inch, and 5-inch rounded louvers. There's peaked 3-inch, and then there's, that's 4-inch, 5-inch, and 6-inch. And then there's peaked 3-inch and 3-inch regular, and then 2 and 1. I don't know if I have all the dies, but I must have all the dies because that would have been punched. Anyways, that's from way back in the 80s, and last time this thing punched any louvers was probably, 15 years ago. My dad was using it and did a couple of hoods for some people. But it's a really good machine. California Louver Company made the dies. It's got the 4-inch die in it right now. But I helped my dad a long time ago punch some louvers. What did we punch? Oh, we punched, probably the last thing I helped him punch was these 4-inch louvers here. That's why the 4-inch die is in there. We punched the louvers in the back of the roof panels of my truck. That would have been like 2006, so almost 20 years ago. And before that, him and I louvered the hood on my Studebaker with the 3-inch hot rod louvers. This is pretty much the standard size, but my dad and I punched all these louvers in the hood of my truck. I don't know when that would have been. Probably 95, 96, 97, something like that. So 25 years ago, we punched those. And on his car, he punched louvers in the hood here of the Buick. And that's got 7 in the fender here. There's a transmission cooler. He did some reverse louvers in the fender on that side, 3 and 7 for 37. So all the louvers on all the cars in the shop have been punched to this machine. And louvering is a dying art. There's a guy in town here that's like 95, and he's the one that did a lot of the ones in the town where I am at. Nobody really knows I have this machine here, and like I said, I haven't used it at all, and the setup and all that is very labor intensive, and I'm very nervous about ruining people's hoods or whatever. So if I ever got into punching other people's parts, I'd have to make sure that I know how to use it correctly, because you ruin a hood. My dad and his friend were punching a 59 Ford truck hood for the friend, and they ended up get the louver out of whack and punched it and ruined the hood and had to start over, so with a different hood. So I would hate to do that to somebody else's parts. Maybe someday, maybe something I could sell. I can make like panels, like for Jeep hoods and stuff. They sell panels. I might make straight panels I could sell. I don't know. But for now, it's down here. So my friend who works at a hot rod shop, and he louvers with his machine from the Buffalo area, he's going to come out and help me louver the hood and louver the tailgate for the C10 project truck. We'll do a layout, and then we'll punch a whole bunch of louvers in the hood. I might even put the 4-inch louvers in the hood, just because the C10 hood is so huge. It'll take up a little bit of more space when I put quite as many louvers in the hood with the 4-inch one there. So we might do that. So anyways, I've just been down here getting ready to get the doors up in the shop and continue on. And you might be wondering, what are these flathead powered things here? I haven't talked about them in a long time, but these are K.R. Wilson, made in Buffalo, New York. These are K.R. Wilson Company, who made products related to early Fords, and they made Ford tooling and stuff for the Ford Motor Company. What these are this one is a stationary power plant, and this is the indoor unit. It didn't originally have a grill shell on it, but this is an indoor unit, and it uses a 24 stud truck motor, which I think is a 221 cubic inch engine. I'm not sure, like 38, 39. It's got the helmet head distributor. But anyways, this runs a in and out box with a shaft coming out of it with a clutch. So right now it's out, and you would put it in and run equipment with, like a belt-driven machinery. These use 37 Ford choke and throttle rods. It's got ignition cutout that's tied to the oil pressure. So if it overheats or the oil pressure gets too low, it shuts itself off. And you can see the K.R. Wilson badge down there. But I bought these from a guy that was collecting them, and he was downsizing and going into assisted living or whatever. And I bought 3 of these. These are the complete ones. This is, like I said, the internal indoor power plant unit. And then this one is even cooler. This is a generator, and it's got a huge generator on it that's currently not wired up. I got to figure out how to do that, but look at the massive size of this generator. And it has like a 1-inch thick cast iron base. This thing weighs a freaking ton. But it is the same thing. This one is like super complete and original. It has a curved face oil pressure gauge on it. That's about a $200 gauge that somebody put on there way back in the day. But this guy has they have generators on them. I'm sorry, they're not generators. They're governors on them. They got oil-fed governors, so you keep the same RPM. It's got the truck pumps and the 2 water pumps. This one, one of the water pumps is leaking, but I just turned them over the other day, and somebody's monkeyed around with this a little bit. They added a start button over here, but this is the same thing. It's a truck motor with a T-heads, and they're all 38, 39-ish vintage. This one, let's see. Yeah, the controls are up here. We still got the 37 Ford choke and throttle. Somebody added a switch to turn the ignition on, and they might have been running on 12 volts, but use like a 37 Ford oil filter to suck fumes in. But this would be in a basement, and it'd be our auxiliary power generator. Not really prepared for show and tell, but here you can see, all right, this one only makes 240 volts here. There we go. But see K.R. Wilson on the gauges. Here we got a tachometer. And amperage, this would have had a control light, but super cool. I don't know what was in these other holes. And this had the ignition cut out over here, I believe. Yeah. And this one's been monkeyed around with a little bit, but I would like to get the, you know, you could use this to power your house. Actually, it's 240 volt AC, so you could actually use this as a backup generator, just like it was always intended to be. So future plans. I got 41 Ford bumpers stacked up like cordwood here. Come on now, get out of there. See on the back of this other one here, let's see if I put the clutch out. There, it frees up the wheel. Somebody cut the studs off. I don't know what was on this, but when then you have it out. Bunch of Model A tin here. When it's out, here's the K.R. Wilson unit there. When it's out, obviously this is free, and then once you get it running, you go and pull the piece in. It goes over center with your clutch, and then it runs your equipment like that. This is all cast iron. So here's your choke and throttle and your start button here, and that drop out ignition here. But I try to leave the clutch in so it doesn't hold tension on the springs forever. But we've unburied those, so eventually it'd be cool to mount these on a trailer, mount this one on a trailer, and take it to car shows and be able to fire it up and show people how it worked. Imagine putting like a big propeller or something on here, like, or chop salad with it. I don't know. But the something you don't see every day, super cool. This one would be cool to be like clean it up a little bit and have it in a museum and be a good museum piece. But for now, they're in my museum, and you just saw them. They're right here. I don't know who painted this one up all goofy. It shouldn't be blue and stuff like that. Somebody did that. These would have been Ford green probably originally, and this one is an all-industrial gray unit. They painted the whole thing gray. But this one's super cool. Like I said, it's very, very heavy because the cast iron base and a generator. This thing is like probably over 2,000 pounds. It's very, very heavy. This one's a lot lighter. And originally it would have been not on casters. It would have been bolted right to the floor, so it would have been a little bit lower down there. But it is what it is. Now that I've done the show and tell, I got to put all this crap away. But I just been down here. It's been raining all day, so I'm trying to get organized back from Hershey, and eventually I'm going to put my headers and stuff up here and have a wall of speed and just hang all my trinkets up on the wall. All right, guys, I had a random sighting here. Hot rods in the driveway. Jack Mulligan stopped over with his little Vanside tee here, and vacuum hose fell off and was running rough here. This is an Iron Duke in here. Jack, you built this whole thing from scratch. Can you tell us about it? I can go ahead.
Well, this is a 29 shell. This is a 26 Ford. That's the only thing real on the car. The size where he's showing you right now, they're off a van upside down. It's a corner
of a Chevy van. So this is the upside down. If you guys can envision, this is the roof would have been up here. This is the back corner, and this is where the back door hinges would be on a Chevy van, like a 70s and 80s Chevy van.
This is off of a tractor. It's all rotted out, so I put it on. This is off a kitchen refrigerator. We cut it all down to make it fit.
Look at the chrome jag rear end.
And it is a chrome jag rear end.
That's awesome.
Let me show you how this.
Oh yeah, look at that. You got the fuel tank, you got the battery in there.
So when we go camping, we can put everything we need right in that little place there.
Everything fits right there.
Change
no
the clothes, food, and everything.
for 2 people. You got Hudson taillights.
Hudson taillights. You want me to show you the steering?
Oh yeah, the steering wheel's all bent out of shape. What happened?
Well, that's what
If
happened.
only you could swing it. Hold on, let me get on the other side. If only there was a way to swing it over back into position.
Try this.
Oh, come on now.
This is the only deep dish banjo wheel in the country.
Did you make it?
Yeah. And this here was the only way we could make this work solid. This is a friction shock that we use on the front of the car, and we used it to hold the steering.
Let me come around and get an action shot. Or you do it again. Unbelievable.
This is not. This is 4 lights in there. It tells me to left turn signal, right turn signal, high beams, and fans on.
Where's all the gauges?
Underneath. You got to sit in the car
you
to
gotta
see
sit
them.
in the car to see them. Look at that.
And I got over 400 rivets in it. I like rivets.
Dang. It's an Iron Duke, 4-cylinder Iron Duke motor with a 4-speed or 5-speed? 5-speed.
5-speed.
And early Ford front end's got a Super Bell drop axle, wishbones, suicide front end, some kind of big REO Speedwagon headlights.
Too big.
Too big. It's got some bent spoke, like Kelsey Hayes style wheels. All custom. And the nice thing about this T is when you ride in it, you don't get wind buffeted like a normal T. You sit way down in there. That's awesome.
And wait, I want to show you. These windshield posts are off of a first grade chair in some school.
From a desk?
Yeah.
How are the kids supposed to learn if you take their chair legs away?
There's only one chair missing.
Oh. This thing's awesome. And how many of these Vanside hot rods are there around now?
I don't know, but I want to make another one.
You had the first idea. Don Turner's got one.
That's right. And Larry Hendershot.
Larry Hendershot built one. I haven't built one yet, but I'm running out of time.
Frame was made by the Amish. They've been up to steel for me.
This thing is pretty low here. I got construction boots on and they just fit under the frame.
Just right then.
This is good for off-road use.
But we are looking for somebody out there who can help us. Trying to figure where this come from.
I don't know.
It's light tin. Looks like it might have been on a pedal car or something like that. Maybe a wagon.
Could have been on anything. That's
going
pretty awesome. Now it should run better with the vacuum line hooked back up.
I hope so.
We're running out of open top driving weather, but today it's nice fall cruiser. And if you like cartoon tees, this one's pretty awesome. Let's fire it up and see if it runs any better. It runs good now. It helps when all the vacuum lines are back on. I want to watch the rear end turn when you back up. Come on, whatever you got to do, do it. Back right out. I'll help you see the road. Go that way. Hold on. No, hold on. You got it. Yeah. It's a super cool car, all hand built by Jack, It needs a aluminum LS V8 under the hood that's lightweight, but it'd sound cool. Or like an early banger sticking through the hood, but it's super neat. And when you ride in it, you don't get any wind buffeting because you sit so down far inside the body. It's super awesome. But that chrome jag rear end turn in there, that's the hot setup. Speaking of hot setups, I'm in here watching the Rockford Files. Jim gets $200 a day plus expenses. That's what I should be getting paid to make YouTube videos, but I'm not. Hey, there he is right there. Jim Rockford. That's not Jim Rockford. Where's Jim Rockford? Oh, that's Isaac, what's his name, and the other guy. I'm trying to get ready to paint the doors and stuff for this truck, and I'm trying to recover some of my lost disaster of nonsense here. So I've been moving things around. My air compressor kind of just dances around on the floor, which isn't good. But I'm in here. I'm going to move all my sheet metal over here. You see where the concrete ends? That's where this garage used to end. Actually, that used to be the front wall right there, and I put this addition on. And I never put the floor in it because that's what I do. I never finish anything. So this is the driveway, this asphalt from out there. And eventually I got to saw cut this out and have a floor poured in here. I just haven't got around to it. It's only been since 2009, so what's that, 16 years? Yeah, it's only been 16 years I haven't put the floor in it yet, but don't be in a hurry. So obviously you can see there's dirt here. I'm just going to cover that up with some plywood. I'm going to move all my random sheet metal and stuff that's over here, get all that over here out of the way so I got more room to work around the truck without, that holds a lot of dirt, trying to make a better scenario. And eventually I need to bolt this compressor down or get a better compressor, and when the new floor is poured, it'll mount solid to the wall here and be nicer. But I'm just going through all these trinkets. I got random small block Chevy parts, some bins full of trinkets, some hoses. I gotta do something with all this. It was this 37 Dodge truck steering wheel I got out of the junkyard. Very Art Deco. I gotta restore this someday and put it in a car, but super, super cool there. Anyways, that's what I'm working on. An absolute disaster. But my goal is get this guy rolled out. And I want to take and my generator doesn't need to live in here. This can live in my pole barn. My engine's here. I got my 440 and my 350 that need to be rebuilt. They need to get out of here and go to the pole barn, get out of the way. The blueprint 350 for the Buick is here in the bag. That'll stay in here, and I can reorganize all this. Look at all this filth here. Where painting this is bad, so I want to clean all this up, get all this stuff out of here. And so just got a clean spot to work. And I want to have the truck mobile to be able to roll the truck out for body work. I can sand the doors and get the doors ready for primer over here, like plastic off, put the truck over there, plastic off that area so it doesn't get overspray on the truck, or rolled outside when I'm priming and painting. That'd be even better. But I need an area to work, and especially now that the weather is finally got out of summer and it's headed to fall/winter. I mean, I don't say finally like I want it to, but like, unfortunately, it's gone from summer to winter. Let's say it that way. I'm going to have to turn the heat back on here eventually and stuff. So I want to try to get organized. I got all this garbage in here that I don't know what to do with anything with it right now, so that's going to kind of stay. But this was getting choked right down to nothing. The hoarding is real. The second you stop being organized, it chokes right back off to nothing. All right, it's many hours later. I've been just cleaning, boring cleaning, but ta-da, look at this side. Bam! All that junk that was over here, all the sheet metal and stuff is gone. I have the tire changer here that's bolted down to the floor that I can remove if I have to, but I took the louver die toolbox down to the pole barn, got that out of the way, so I'm clear over here. The only thing I have here, which I can clean around, is 2 floor jacks and a set of front cab mounts for one of these trucks, but I'm going to adapt those I use to fix that Black 80 Dodge out back because it needs them and they're close enough to the right shape to work. And then over here, I also took my air compressor, laid it on its back. I put some feet on it, some bolts to jack it up so I could actually get my arm under it to let the air out of the air, what do you call it there? And it had like a gallon of water in it. It had a lot of water in it. This thing's super tired, and I beat the crap out of it. Spraying fluid film, it runs nonstop and blows a lot of water. Well, that's why, because they had so much water in it. But now that it's up on feet, I can actually get my hand under there and let the water out, so I can drain it like once a week, like you're supposed to. But over here, I took all the sheet metal and stuff. I threw it over in here. I got my box of exhaust parts that I used from Summit Racing that I build exhaust systems with. I got all my fluid film stuff just here out of the way. This is the box for the C10 that has a clutch fan I bought for it, and the wiring harness, and the door parts, and miscellaneous other parts here. That's just one little box of parts. Everything else is down in the trailer that I took to Hershey. Like, I can't show you out now because it's dark, but I put the box sides of the rear fenders, the steps, the core support, other parts in there, the inner fenders, the hood, all that's down in the trailer. So all that stuff is out of the way. The hood was laying up here forever, blocking all my cabinets, so that's good. I'm going to take the 37 Dodge Art Deco steering wheel I got out of a 37 Dodge cab over. I'm going to take that and put it probably in my house. I can look at it. It's pretty cool. But I got a couple of things I'd clear up. This stuff's just going to live like here for now. There's plow parts for my Dodge truck plow and some other miscellaneous nonsense. Actually, the steering box that was in the truck, the power steering one, oh, it's a reman unit. I got to run some oil through it. It got some water in it sitting before I got the truck, so I'm going to run cycle oil through it and clean that out. It's a good reman steering box, Saginaw box, so hold on to that. But I've been cleaning up here. The desk is still a disaster. I need to order more paint. I think what I'm going to do, I'm a little nervous about running out of paint. I've used up almost a whole gallon of the Hawaiian blue for the truck. It's got about a quart left, and I got another gallon, but I've got to do a lot of painting. I might order one more gallon of paint, and so I don't get mix match color because it's been made. I'll mix all the colors together as I'm painting. That way I got my closest chance of getting the same color match. Now, obviously, that's not the best way to do it, but it's the only way I got to. I don't have a paint mixing booth to mix colors and all that, but I think if I ran out of paint, then bought a whole nother gallon of paint and painted, like, you know, the box sides with a fresh gallon of paint that didn't match the other 2 gallons of paint, the color could be off. So if I get another gallon of paint and mix them all together, I should have, in theory, they shall be the same color. I don't know, whatever. But I am going to be smart when I'm painting this. The box sides, the fenders are huge, and I don't need to paint the box sides blue behind the fenders. I can paint that black. So I'll mask off. So I'm going to only be painting the blue on a very little bit of the box sides, just around the fenders, and a little bit on the inside. The rest of the bed's going to be Herculiner. The bottom of the truck is going to get this cream color. So I don't need to paint the bottom of the doors and the bottom of the fenders blue and then paint it cream on top of that. I can just like dust over it and mask some off. So that'll save me some blue. So right here I'm talking about the C on the bed. Here, the fender covers, I don't know, 85% of the box side. So I'll just bolt the fender on, I'll mask it off, or I'll draw a chalk line, mask it off. Under the fender will be all black, and I'll just have a little bit of blue here at the top of the rails, and I'm going to put Herculiner in, I don't know, probably 8 inches down from the top of the bed, so you see the blue around the inside, but then it'll be black Herculiner on the inside of the bed because I'm going to use this truck as a daily driver, and stuff will be in the box sliding around and stuff like that. I don't want to just scratch it all up. So I'll do that to save some paint, or if I get a new gallon of paint, I could paint the inside of the box where you wouldn't see it, use the original paint to paint the doors, all the stuff on the outside. I don't know. But the hood, I'll paint the hood black on the inside. I think that's how they were from the factory. The front fenders, I'll just do the very inside edge of the fender blue to save paint there. The rest of the fenders will be black. Black under the hood, just blue on top. So I might have enough paint. It is about $450 a gallon, so I don't know if I really want to buy. I don't know. I hate to run out of paint, though, is the only thing. So I'm still thinking about what to do there, but I'm going to get back on this right away. Now that I've been cleaning this out, be able to push the truck in and out. I've got the fuel line tanks here, or the fuel tank lines, I should say. Here's the vent line, and then I got to make a new feed line, 3/8 feed line. I want to put the tank in. I'm going to get the seat up here, probably while I'm doing body work. I've been thinking about the seat, maybe get pull the trigger and buy a seat cover and just recover the seat once and be done with it. Get the seat bolted in, get the gas tank in. I've got to order a gallon. I'm only going to need a gallon of paint to do this cream on the bottom. I think I'm going to go like a 58 Chevy color is like a real light cream color. I have the original taillights off my dad's original truck, which have the original cream color he put on it, but take it to the paint store, but those guys are so hit and miss with that paint camera, and then I got to buy paint from them, and they're outrageously expensive. I'm going to look at some paint chips and just like get it close. I think a 58 Chevy like cream is real close to the original color, and I'm just going to guess and pull the trigger, and it's going to be what it is. But everything from here down is going to be painted. That's why you still see the primer here. I'm going to mask it. I can get that sprayed, the rocker at the bottom of here, get the doors painted, put the cream on the bottom of the doors, hang the doors, and button all this up. And then over the winter time, we can lower the suspension, put the drivetrain together, build the exhaust system, put the front clip together, get it all going, and get it running and driving with the box off, and really dial it in, get the brakes working, wire it all up, and then in the springtime, or maybe we'll work on the box over the winter too, get the box on it. I don't know if I'll have the box painted, but at least in primer or something, fit it up to the truck and then paint it when it's warmer. I don't really want to paint it in here in the middle of winter. I'd have to run the furnace, and I'm not really set up to paint in the wintertime like an actual body shop. So I'm in a rush to get the doors and fenders painted before it gets cold out. So that would be in the next like month. Get the doors. I've got to finish sanding a little bit of body work, throw some primer on them, and then the fenders need a little bit of body work, prime and paint them, and hang the doors immediately. The fenders, I'm going to wait on putting those on the truck until I get the engine in it. That'll be a lot easier to have the engine and actually do the suspension lowering with the front clip off. That would make the most amount of sense before, you don't have to fight around the fenders. So they can be painted and ready to go on. The hood will probably be painted later because I'm going to louver the hood and probably paint that either later in the year or in the springtime. We'll see how it goes. But let me, so that's what happened in here today. Everything I got cleaned up. Oh, and I found this chair. I had this chair like tucked away in a bag. You can see how dusty it is. It's like from like 20 years ago. I remember we used to take them to the car shows, and I don't know how it ended up in a pile of junk, but it randomly did. So I got that going. Let me take you back down to the pole barn. I hung up all my headers and everything, and I've got my wall of speed kind of built from what I got now. I do have some more valve covers here and there and some other things here and there I'm going to hang up on the wall, but for now, let's go take a look. Are you ready for the reveal? Bam! Look at that! Oh my goodness gracious. We got a whole crap ton of headers up here. Let's see, small block Ford Handmade headers. Those are LS, I think Handmade headers from Scratch and Dent at Summit. These are some banged up huge 440 headers I bought at a swap meet. All smashed up, but they are monstrous headers, like 3.5-inch 440 headers. These are Dodge Magnum eBay stainless steel headers I got from my Dodge truck with the Magnum, but they didn't fit the old style Dodge, so I got those. Here's some factory like Mustang style headers or truck headers, but I think they're Walker, but I think they're for a Mustang. Another one. These are all flathead headers, two styles of like 35-ish, and then a little bit later ones. I think these are the earlier ones that go around the steering box, and these are later. Different flavors of those. We got some Edelbrock valve covers, some stock Chevy valve covers, a Chevy 6-cylinder valve cover, one Chrysler Hemi Firepower Hemi valve cover, some flathead intakes, V860. These are 59 AB or earlier, maybe like 1940-ish. I'm not sure what this one is. See how these are all cast down pretty small in the center. This one's different. It's like pretty wide. I don't know if it's a Canadian intake or like a truck manifold. I don't think it's an aftermarket one because it doesn't have any name on it, but it's kind of a weird shape. It's not an 8BA because it doesn't have the breather tube up, so it's got a 59AB or earlier. It's just kind of different. So that's kind of odd. Or maybe it's maybe it's an earlier intake that is earlier than these. I'm not sure what that is, but got one of those there. And then over in my big intake manifolds, I got 2 big block Ford 460 manifolds. I got a Performer 460, which I bought at Carlisle. I bought these both at Carlisle, actually. And I wanted to put one of these on my my Blue Truck 460, maybe. This one's a higher rise Performer RPM, and this one's this is about similar to a stock style intake, but it's got a square bore carburetor on it. This one's more spread bore style. It's also higher. And then Chevy stuff, I got a stock Chevy 4-barrel intake, probably from the 80s. And then a couple of Torkers. This one's a Torker 2, and this is a regular Torker from Edelbrock. Edelbrock Performer that was originally on the 400 in my dad's Buick, which will probably go back on the 400 when I put it in the C10. So Edelbrock Performer. I got another Performer. And these are CB3 and CB3X. These are like a precursor to the Performer, and they are have the breather tubes for the early style small blocks like 327s and 283s. This one is the CB3 has got a little bit higher intake. Maybe it doesn't get an adapter on here, but you can see it's got the smaller port for a smaller carburetor on there. That one might be a little bit wider, I'm not sure. But these are, like I said, kind of a mid-range between a stock cast iron 4-barrel and a later Performer. So these are probably from the 60s, I would say, 60s to early 70s, CB3 and CB3X. I just got them because they got the breather tubes in them. They're kind of cool. And on my Model A hot rod shop truck over here, I have it's going to be really hard to see, but I have a CB4 intake on it, which is pretty much the same thing. It's like, must be right after that, but before Performer. So I have a whole bunch of early style intakes, and that's the 283 in that truck, so I put it on there because of the breather tube. But one of these intakes is going to go on the 40 Mercury because that has early style valve covers on it. It's a later model 350, but it's got early style valve covers. I'm going to pull the 3 deuces off of it, and I'm going to probably, whatever tube fits the right way. I don't like how this has got a PCV valve jammed in it, but whichever one of these fits the tube, I guess we could go look right now. Let's go look. Well, come over here, and you're like, why are you taking the 3 deuces off? Well, because they are severely out of tune and all need to be rebuilt. They're Rochester 2 jets, and they look cool, but this car is going to be just a cruiser and not really a show hot rod. So let's see, the tube is coming off to the left, or to the passenger side. But you see how these Edelbrock valve covers have no breathers or anything in them? So you need the breather in the front of the intake to make the thing breathe, and it's got a PCV valve jammed in this valve cover here on that side, which has been drilled in probably without a baffle, so that might suck a little oil, actually. I don't know if to see. I haven't really driven this car enough to notice, but this is an Edelbrock. Oh no, it's an Offenhauser. An Offenhauser 3 deuce intake that my friend Tom put together when he put the car together with 3. These are Rochester 2 jets, factory 2 jet, 2 barrels. So I'm going to kirk that off there. He wants it back. So we'll pop that guy off, and we'll just throw, it's going to have a regular 600 Edelbrock on there. So let's go over here. What did I say? Passenger side. Oh, it's not the chrome one. Crap. It's this guy, the CB3. But maybe I can pull the tube. Yeah, the tube should pull out. Maybe I'll pull the tube out. And, oh, look, the water necks are staggered different. Look at that. Huh. Ain't that a thing? The CB3 is older. This has got like a mount for a electric choke, I think, or off the side, or a heat choke, or EGR block off. I'm not sure what those are on the side. I forget. Might be an EGR block off. So this guy, the CB3, is probably older. It doesn't matter where the water neck goes. Let's go back over here. We're investigating on the fly. Doesn't matter where the water neck. Oh, the water neck is on that side, but this is an adjustable hose here. I think this is a cover. Maybe that's a pipe. So I guess it could go either way. It doesn't really matter. You'll just burp, 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 flip it over. Oh, this has got a chrome pipe sticking out of there. Maybe I'll steal the chrome pipe out of there. Don't tell anybody. I might do that. We'll see. So I guess it doesn't really matter which side the jobber goes on there. It'll work either way. Well, anyways, one of these or the other will end up on there. I kind of like the CB3X just because it has the X on it. But I don't know. This one has a carb spacer too. You can jack the carb up a little bit, get some extra torque action. I don't know. I could paint this too. Oh. Or just take that. Oh, you know what? No. I don't think you'd want the PVC valve sucking. See, that's not a vent. That's just a... That's how they got away with that. You need... Oh, actually, these are both not vented. I'd have to get a cap with a vent to be vented. Anyways, I got options with that. I got options. But, man, the temperature is dropping again. It's fall. So I guess that's that. We got the wall of speed back there. I've been building just... All my stuff was everywhere. I had intakes in the house and everything and all over the place. And it looks just better to have the stuff all in one place up on the wall, even though it's a jumbled mess. So I've been slowly trying to get organized in here too. Now I took a lot of my Chevy truck stuff out. I got a little bit more room. I'm very, very bad at just like throwing stuff everywhere and turning everything into a hoarded freaking disaster. And I got to get better at that because it's a disaster. But I guess that's it. I'm going to hang it up for now. And finally, after Hershey, I got to go back to work. I've been off from work for like 8 days. 7 or 8 days. 9 days. No. 5. No. Yeah, 8 days I've been off from work, running around doing Hershey. I got to go back to work tomorrow. Dang it. Well, anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Maybe I'll hang some more crap up on the wall. I don't know. I'm still trying to clean things up. And you'll see it all here live, bam, at the Quick Speed Shop.